The courtroom was already tense before the woman even began speaking, because from the moment she stepped forward, her attitude filled the room, sharp words, dismissive gestures, and a tone that suggested she believed volume could replace truth. And as Judge Mathis listened, it became clear that this case was not just about a dispute. It was about respect, self-control, and accountability. Because the defendant, a middle-aged woman, repeatedly interrupted the plaintiff, rolled her eyes at testimony, and laughed at moments that demanded seriousness, acting as though the courtroom were a place to vent frustration rather than seek justice. And when Judge Mathis asked her to explain her side calmly, she responded with defensiveness instead of clarity, raising her voice, blaming everyone else, and refusing to accept even the smallest responsibility. And the more she spoke, the more her own words began to expose contradictions. Because her story shifted each time she was challenged, first denying involvement, then minimizing it, then justifying it. And Judge Mathis allowed her to continue just long enough for the pattern to become undeniable. And when he finally stepped in, his voice was firm but controlled, reminding her that disrespect does not strengthen an argument, it weakens it. And that courts are designed for truth, not tantrums. And instead of taking the warning seriously, she pushed further, accusing the system of being unfair, questioning motives, and speaking over the judge himself, a move that instantly changed the energy in the room. Because Judge Mathis made it clear that disagreement is allowed, but disorder is not. And as he broke down the facts, piece by piece, he showed how her behavior outside the courtroom mirrored the conduct that led to the case in the first place: impulsive decisions, emotional reactions, and a refusal to listen, while the plaintiff, who had remained calm throughout, gained credibility simply by contrast. And Judge Mathis pointed this out directly, explaining that credibility is built not only by evidence, but by conduct, and that how someone behaves under pressure often reveals more than what they say. And as evidence was reviewed, it became obvious that the woman's claims of being misunderstood were inconsistent with recorded messages, timelines, and witness statements, all of which told a much calmer, clearer story than the chaos she presented verbally. And slowly, her confidence faded, replaced by frustration, because facts do not argue, they stand. And when the ruling was delivered, it was firm, balanced, and grounded entirely in evidence. And Judge Mathis used the moment to deliver a lesson that extended beyond the case, explaining that emotional expression is human, but emotional control is a responsibility, especially when actions affect others, and that being loud does not make someone right, just visible. And as the session concluded, the woman stood quietly for the first time, no interruptions, no accusations, only the realization that her own behavior had done more damage than any opposing argument, while the plaintiff left with more than a legal win, leaving with validation that calm truth still carries weight. And Judge Mathis closed the case by reminding everyone in the courtroom that justice listens best to those who respect it, turning a disruptive dispute into a powerful example of how self-control, not aggression, determines whose voice truly matters when judgment is passed.